Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel. We are back. It's been maybe a month and a half, 2 months. It's been a good amount of time since the last time we were here over on the baseball side of things. After we wrapped up a very successful Kansas City Royal rebuild, where we won multiple championships. We won multiple championships with both the teams that I've rebuilt since starting up the Juice Baseball channel. The Reds, obviously in MLB The Show 22, we won multiple championships with them. And then in 23, we won multiple championships with the Kansas City Royals. Now it is time for the next step of our journey. It is time for MLB The Show 24. And it is time for the new rebuild series to take effect. Now, there's a couple of different teams that I was thinking about the entire time before leading up to MLB The Show releasing. I was thinking maybe the Rockies, because they're very bad. I was thinking the Nationals. I was thinking National League teams, because obviously we were the Reds in MLB The Show 22, National League team. We were the Royals last year in MLB The Show 23, American League team. Now it's only right to swing back over to the National League. So I was thinking National League teams that aren't very good or have had kind of down on their luck type of seasons over the past couple of years. I thought obviously the Rockies, the Nationals, maybe a little bit of the Giants. There's a few teams in there that you could throw into the mix. But then I came across the San Diego Padres. And no, they're not the worst team in Major League Baseball. They're actually a pretty decent team in Major League Baseball this year. But they've kind of been a weird franchise over the past 20 years, to be honest with you. They've had multiple different variations of quote-unquote going all in, and it just hasn't really worked out. Now, that's not to say that they haven't had some success. They've made the playoffs. They've done some good things, but they haven't won a World Series. They have expensive players that aren't good at times, and they've kind of let everybody walk multiple different times, including just recently Juan Soto. Now he's in New York. So the San Diego Padres were the most intriguing team that I thought about. Now, it's not obviously going to be as difficult, I wouldn't say, in terms of like the uphill battle that we have when you take on a team like the Royals or like the Reds in past years where they were just really bad and you had to basically start from scratch. There are some bright spots, obviously, with this Padres team, but there also are some negatives. I mean, they've got some expensive contracts. They've got some older players that maybe we need to capitalize on their value while they still have it. They've got some promising players like Fernando Tatis and people like that, but it's going to be an interesting. I didn't want to pick a team in the National League that was super, super bad like the Nationals or the Rockies, like I mentioned before. But I also obviously wasn't going to pick a team that's amazing like the Braves or the Dodgers or something like that. I'm not going to do that. So I kind of went, you know what? Who's kind of like a middle-of-the-road team in the National League, but kind of on the lower end of the middle of the road? And I landed on the Padres. I think they're kind of like, they're ranked, I think, 18th in Major League Baseball. So they're honestly on the lower end of the middle of the road, like what I was saying. So the San Diego Padres are the team that we are going to be taking control of in this rebuild series. They are my MLB The Show 24 rebuild team. Obviously, I'm going to be still doing the Legends series. That is going to be coming out soon. The Fantasy Draft series will be back. We will be in the American League, I would think, because we were just the Mets last year, so we'll probably jump back over to the American League, pick a team there. Maybe the Tigers, I was thinking. I like their ballpark, Comerica Park. So maybe the Tigers, I don't know yet. I haven't filmed that video yet. So we will be doing the Fantasy Draft video. And then obviously, or maybe not obviously, we are bringing back the Road to the Show. The Road to the Show will come back. I don't know how often or how long I'll keep it going. Obviously, last year it didn't last too long. But I do want to continue the Road to the Show longer than last year because I kind of like it this year. I have filmed that video. I kind of like it. I kind of am excited about it. So I hope you guys are too. So the road to the show is coming back, and I also have a little bit of interesting ideas, a couple interesting ideas for maybe a one-off video, or maybe like a spin-off series or something like that, something little that's not going to be too crazy, but just kind of some extra ideas. I don't know if I'm actually, or when those are going to come out, but I'm still working on kind of like developing the ideas, I guess. So all that's in the future. There's a lot coming on the MLB side of things here on the Juice Baseball channel. I'm super excited about it. So let's get into the video here. Let's talk about the San Diego Padres. We're in a very interesting division. We are in a division in the NL West with teams comprised of teams on the lower end, like the Rockies and the Giants, but then teams on the higher end, like the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. And then we're kind of just sandwiched in the middle there. So we've got a very intriguing division. It's nothing like what the NL or the AL Central was last year with the Royals, where it was really just the Guardians. Sometimes the Twins would make a run here every once in a while, but it was almost exclusively just us versus the Guardians. This one, I could see it go in multiple different ways. I could see the Giants leading. I could obviously see the Dodgers leading. I could see the Diamondbacks leading. If the Rockies have a couple good years of simulation, I could see them back up there, but probably not. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential battle in this division. It could be one of the more competitive divisions in this entire series, is what I'm kind of thinking. And obviously there you have the main man for the LA Dodgers nowadays. It is Shohei Ohtani. Now, one big thing that I want to talk about in this series as we take a look at the roster that we are working with here, I want to mention something about how we do the rebuilds. Now, obviously, if you guys have been around the channel for the two rebuilds in the past for a while now, we don't necessarily delve too much into realism. Obviously, I like realism. I watch rebuilds that have realistic qualities to them. I watch series that have realistic qualities. I'm a big Ant Ortiz guy. I like him. I like Wheels. I like all the big time Daddy Dimmu. I like all the MLB The Show guys, Diamond Dynasty guys, Road to the Show guys, obviously franchise guys, and they all delve in realism. I don't really do realism. I'm more of it's a video game. Let's see what kind of crazy stuff we can have. What kind of crazy stuff's going to happen. If I want to trade Fernando Tatis for Shohei Ohtani, I'll do it. I'm not going to, because I don't want to trade Fernando Tatis. But if I want to get Shohei Ohtani on the team, I'll get Shohei Ohtani on the team. If I want to get Mike Trout on the team, I'll get Mike Trout on the team. If I want to get Ronald Acuna Jr. on the team, I'll get Ronald Acuna Jr. on the team. It's what I want to do, and it's what kind of crazy things I think would be cool. It's a video game. It's not supposed to be realistic. So if you guys like realism, that's cool. I don't blame you. I like realism too. But these series on my channels, and that goes for every channel that I have, the series that I do on my channel don't delve into realism. So if your realism is your thing, there's plenty of content out there for realism stuff. But if you want to delve into the weird side of things, then I'm your guy. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about what we did in the past. In the past couple of series with the Royals and Reds, I have gotten the same players multiple different times. I obviously had Ellie De La Cruz on both series. We've had Juan Soto on both series. We've had multiple different pitchers on both series that have made appearances. So I think I'm going to, and this goes for the Legend series as well. I'll mention that when I film that video. I kind of want to get different guys this time around. Maybe at some point I might end up getting guys that I've had before, just because I just enjoy them as players on MLB The Show and players in real life, and we might just end up having them on the team. But I kind of want to get different guys. Like I've never had Mookie Betts on one of my teams before. I've never had Freddie Freeman on one of my teams before. I've never had Ketel Marte on one of my teams, or Zach Gallen. Actually, have I had Zach Gallen? I can't remember if I've had Zach Gallen or not. I've never had Brian Reynolds on one of my teams before. I've never had Dansby Swanson on any of my teams before. I've never had Zach Wheeler, or I've had Pete Alonso and Frankie Lindor. I've never had Sandy Alcantara or Ronald Acuna Jr. or Matt Olson, or I've had Spencer Strider, or we just had Michael Harris last time. I love Michael Harris. But you guys get the idea. I've never had Adolis Garcia on my rosters, or I've had all these guys actually. But you guys get the idea. I want to get guys. Obviously, we had Bobby Witt last year. I want to get guys that some guys that I've never had before, just because I want to see different things. I want to see how different people develop in the game. I want to see different people work together and help the team. So that's kind of where I want to go. And I can't say that I won't stay away completely from guys like Elly De La Cruz or Juan Soto, but I'll try my best to stay away. And the big thing with this roster is, and why we've waited so long to get the first video out, is because we wanted to get the rosters as up to date as I could. So obviously you may have noticed Blake Snell is in San Francisco. He now will be the starting pitcher, the ace of that organization, along with Logan Webb. So I wanted to get him on here. You can maybe notice that Jung Ho Lee is also here in San Fran. That goes for all the young rookies that are coming over from overseas. Yamamoto is now here in LA along with Shohei Ohtani. So I wanted to get the updated roster as updated as I could before we started the video, and I think I have done that. Blake Snell was kind of the last big domino to fall before the actual season starts, and now that he is signed somewhere, we can get started. Now, we have a few guys of our own, like Yuki Matsui, who's a young rookie. Well, maybe not young, but he's a rookie coming over. We've got Woo Suk Go. I'm going to pronounce these names so poorly. I apologize already. Graham Pauley is also here. We've got Ethan Salas at a catcher, 68 overall, a potential. Robbie Snelling, who is a nice young prospect. So we got a nice little farm system going. Jackson Merrill obviously will be up here in the big leagues. I do want to point out that if we go over to the Royals, if you guys are a fan of Big Game Bengal on his MLB channel, he's doing a Royal series right now, and he has Cole Reagans, and he updated him. I didn't even have to update him. When I loaded this roster up, they already had Cole Reagans updated. I think MLB The Show, for some reason, gave him C potential, and he was like an 80 overall. So whoever made this roster has updated Cole Reagans. But if you guys are a fan of Bengal, over on his, I think it's Big Game Bengal, maybe it's Big Game Gene. I can't remember what his baseball channel is called. But he's doing a Royal series, and he was talking about how Cole Reagans needed an upgrade. So this roster has done that. But as far as our roster goes, it's going to be interesting because we've got a lot of veterans. We've got, obviously, Joe Musgrove, who is our quote-unquote ace for right now. We've got Dylan Cease, who they just traded for recently from the White Sox. They just got him like maybe a week or two ago, maybe a month ago at this point. I don't remember exactly, but he just got to the team. We've got Michael King, who is fine, but he's a little bit older now, B potential, 28 years old, coming off a not great season for the Yanks. I mean, his ERA was pretty good, and his whip was decent, but his wins lost, his hits allowed. I mean, it was a good season, but he just didn't get a lot of wins. Maybe that's more so on the team around him than it is him. And then obviously we've got the legend himself, Yu Darvish, who is fine. A little bit older, not having the best season last year. We've got a weird starting rotation. I will say that. We've got a very, very weird starting rotation. We have a young guy in Robbie Snelling, 20 years old, 6'3", a potential. Could develop into something. Throws decent gas with 93 on the gun. We'll see how he turns out. And then obviously we have Dylan Lesko down here. We've delved into the Dylan Lesko pool multiple different times, so we know a little bit about him. So those are kind of our top two pitching prospects as of right now. So we'll see what happens there. The bullpen, kind of shaky, but it is what it is. We've got Enyel De Los Santos, who is one of my favorite guys coming in the league right now. I like what he did last year in Cleveland. I like what he did in Philadelphia. I like him. I like him a lot. Wandy Peralta is a decent player, but he's very old now. Obviously, Go or Goo. If you guys have any idea how to pronounce that name, I would appreciate it. I think it's Go. I'm going to go with Go. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's 25 years old, 71 overall, B potential. He's got some pop. He could be a decent pitcher for us in this bullpen. But the rest is just, there's not a lot to work. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick the Padres. Because, yeah, they have some top-end talent, but the rest of their team is kind of thin, kind of cheeks, if you think about it. And you actually delve deep and look. So we got to actually, low-key, a lot of work to do. The closing pitcher, we're going to be changing this. You guys know. I'm not going to go for Camilo Doval. That's one of the guys I will stay away from this year. We had Camilo Doval in the Red Series. We had Camilo Doval in the Royals Series. I will stay away from Camilo Doval, but I have other closing pitchers that I really have my eye on. So we will switch from Robert Suarez. He will not be our closing pitcher for super long. He'll probably be our closing pitcher for this season, but we'll see what happens. The catchers, we've got Luis Campusano, who is our starting catcher right now. But like I mentioned earlier, we have Ethan Salas, who is probably going to take the reins at some point. Unless I make a move for somebody else, I'm known to do that. First base, we definitely need a complete overhaul here. There is really no redeeming qualities. You got a couple guys that are younger, but no real potential. So we're going to have to do something about that. Second base, you've got the veteran Xander Bogaerts, who I was a big fan of in Boston, but then I haven't really followed him too much since he got to San Diego. But he's fine. He's a fine player. He's a little bit older now. We've got Tucupita. I think it's Tucupita. Marcano, who I wish had a little bit better potential because he could be a good player for us, but he just doesn't have the potential. Rosario could be that guy. He could be the replacement for Marcano. You never know. Third base, obviously, we have the legendary Manny Machado, who big fan of what he was in Baltimore. Loved Manny Machado in Baltimore. Then he went, obviously, to San Diego. I think at the trade deadline of the 2018 season, he went to San Diego. And he's been here for a while. Had a few good seasons, 30-plus home run seasons. Only one season since he got to San Diego where he was over 300 hitting-wise. But that's okay. I do like Manny Machado. And he probably will be here until he starts to regress, I would think. Unless we could capitalize on his value and get something for him. I'm not sure if we can, but I guess we'll find out. Graham Pauley is frustrating because he's 71 overall at 23 years old. He's got deep potential. I'm not sure why he's got deep potential. I don't really know who this guy is, but he has decent contact versus righties. He seems like a good righty hitter, and he's a rookie at 23 years old. I don't know why he's got deep potential, but I guess we'll see what happens. So he's probably going to get lost in the shuffle if I have to be honest. Shortstop, we've got Hassan Kim. I think it's Hassan. Could be Hassan. I don't know. Like I said, I butcher a lot of names. I apologize. Hassan Kim, 88 overall, 20 years old. Our number one shortstop for now. Maybe our number one shortstop for the series. Who knows? We'll see what happens. He's already 28. Then we got this man right here. Leodalis De Vries. 18-year-old, 61 overall, a potential prospect. The future of the shortstop position, I would think, depending on what happens with trading and all kinds of stuff. But this man, we are going to be grooming him for the future of this shortstop position. Outfield is a different story. I mean, we've got some guys here. We got Tommy Pham, who they got from the Reds at one point. I don't know if it was this year or this year. Whatever time they got him from the Reds. He's fine, but he's 36. You got Jurickson Profar, who's He had like one good season. Where's his one good season at? I guess he had 2 seasons right here where he had 20 home runs, but he's a fine player, nothing special. And now that he's 31 and deep potential, he's probably not going to end up being anything crazy. And then we got this man, the crown jewel of the organization, I like to call him. Jackson Merrill, 20 years old, 78 overall, a potential. He can play all kinds of different positions. We've got him locked up till 2029 at the earliest. And I like this man. This guy is the future of the team right there. And then obviously the main man, the man that's on all the tickets, the man that's on all the commercials, Fernando Tatis. Just a fantastic freak of nature type player. It doesn't, if you think about it, it doesn't really get much better than Fernando Tatis at certain positions. Like if you put him at shortstop, it doesn't get much better than him. If you put him at right field, it doesn't get much better than him. He's just one of a kind. And I do like, this is one addition that I do really, really like. San Diego Studios has finally done something in terms of quality of life improvements, and they've added the awards. So if you get a guy that has a lot of awards, you can now go over to his awards tab and find all of the stuff that he's done. He's the 2021 home run champion. He's got a gold glove. He's got silver sluggers for a couple of years. He's made an all-star team. If we can find somebody that's a little bit older like Manny Machado, he's got a bunch of all-star appearances, a couple gold gloves, a silver slugger. Who else has done a lot? Michael King's probably done. Oh, he hasn't won any awards? Michael King never done any awards? Yu Darvish has got an award. He's got a bunch of all-stars. Who else is a little bit... I guess we'll go to let's go to Aaron Judge or something. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff we want to see. You got MVPs, you got Rookie of the Years, you got Hank Aaron's, Silver Sluggers, Home Run Derbies. This is the type of stuff that I like. That's the kind of quality of life improvements that I like to see. So hopefully we get a couple guys that we draft that end up having award tabs like that. But Aaron Judge is the guy that I wouldn't mind having on the Padres. I mean, he coming off of a 37 home run season after having that 62 home run season where he broke the record. I would like to have Aaron Judge. That's for sure. I mean, who wouldn't? But it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult. As far as our pitch rotation goes, I mentioned it's kind of a weird one, including the bullpen. Joe Musgrove, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, and then Glenn Otto is going to be our starting rotation. I don't really like any of this. I mean, Joe Musgrove's fine. Dylan Cease is fine. The rest is kind of... I can see all of these guys. I can see 1 through 5 being different by the time we actually win a World Series. If anything would have to stay the same, I'd say probably Joe Musgrove would be the only guy that would stay around, just because I enjoy Joe Musgrove, because I think Dylan Cease would have a little bit more value than Musgrove would at 31, being Cease 28. So we'll see what happens. But the rotation in the bullpen's kind of iffy. I don't really know. And then the lineup is good at the top. You got Bogarts, you got Kim, Machado, Tatis, Merrill, Campusano, but then it kind of drops off a little bit with Pham, Pauly, Cronenworth. So we're going to have to make some changes. That is for sure. We are going to have to make some changes. And one of the other things that is kind of like a quality of life improvement that San Diego Studios has made this year is they've really improved the top 100 prospects list. Now, this right here is the top 100 prospects in baseball. We have the 3rd ranked one in Ethan Salas. The 4th ranked is Livy Dunn's boyfriend, which he will be known as. I won't call him by his actual name. No disrespect. But you're dating Livy Dunn, and I hate that. So you'll be known as Livy Dunn's boyfriend. Then you've got all of these top 100 prospects. We've also got DeVries, who is also in the top 10 at number 10. So we got a decent farm system with at least a couple guys. But not only do you have this like they normally have last year or in previous seasons, but if you click right on the R1 on the controller, you've got top 20 by organization. You can go through every single team's top 20 prospects, which is crazy. If you want to make a trade for a young guy, you maybe see somebody down here in the Reds I just happen to be on the Reds. That's kind of funny. You see like Ty Floyd, who doesn't have an ETA until 2027, and you think, oh, I can take that man and I can groom him into being an ace. Then you can go down here and you can find pitchers or position players that don't have ETAs until super late and pick them out and go trade for them. You don't have to go by the trade screen or by the roster screen. You can go by team. This is such a nice improvement. But that's not the only thing. They have top 20 by position. You can go even more specific. You can look at the top 20 position players, the starting pitchers in baseball, the young rookies and prospects in baseball, relief pitchers, closing pitchers, on and on and on, all positions. It's crazy the additions that they made to get a little bit more in depth in the prospect pool, because you guys understand that past MLB The Show games have kind of been thin when it comes to the prospect development and the prospect includement. Is that a word? Includement? You guys know what I mean. We're not going to be doing any gameplay today. Next episode will be opening day against Shohei and the Dodgers, which is going to be kind of crazy if we think about it. We got 2 games early against the Dodgers, which I think these games are in... Hold on, are these games in... Because they're so much earlier. Are they in Korea? Is that right? Let me Google this real quick. Let me just go let me go on the Google machine here real quick. Dodgers opening day 2024. Thursday, March 28th. That's not true. A week after the games in South Korea. Okay, so they are playing in South Korea against, I'm guessing, against the Padres. Let me Google that, because obviously, why would the schedule be wrong? But I'm just making sure that it's in Korea, basically. Dodgers, Padres, Korea. Yeah, MLB Seoul Series 2024 Game 1. Okay, so they are going to Korea, Dodgers and Padres. So that's cool. We get to play. I didn't even realize that when I picked the Padres, that we were going to be playing in Korea. I don't know if they have a Korean ballpark in the game. I guess we'll find out when we play opening day. But those 2 games are going to be in Korea. In real life, at least. So that's pretty cool. But there's going to be no gameplay in today's episode. The next episode will be opening day in Korea against the Dodgers. Another big thing is going to be the budget. You guys know that I like to spend money. That is factual. I like to spend money on expensive players, so we're going to have to keep this budget in mind. We are paying a lot of money to some guys that are a little bit older. We're paying a huge contract, a max contract to Manny Machado, who just starts his first year of this. He must have got extended, because there's no way that he's on the first year of this deal, but he is. He must have got just a new 10-year contract for some reason. Xander Bogaerts is on a 10-year deal. That's not going to fly. I don't like that at all. Joe Musgrove's only on a 4-year deal, but it's $20 million. We'll see how that plays out. See how he simulates. Then obviously you got Yu Darvish. This is just, I don't like this at all. $18 million over 5 years, or $18 million a year for 5 years, and he's 37, 80 overall. That is not going to go well. Tatis's contract gets bigger as you go deeper into his career, but he's 25, he's 96 overall. It's worth it right now. Cronenworth is too expensive. Suarez too expensive. Dylan Cease is only on a 1-year deal. That's fine. Kim is on a 2-year deal for $7 million a year. Some of these contracts aren't crazy, but then you get up here at the top. These are kind of crazy. The ones that I would say are egregious are the Xander Bogaerts deal, the Yu Darvish deal, and the Cronenworth deal. Those are the 3 that I would consider egregious, that we have to. If those are the 3 moves, the only 3 moves that I made this entire first season, then I'd be happy with that. That's like kind of my mandatory. Those are the 3 guys that kind of have to get moved if we're going to free up money, because these 3, I just can't be paying them that much money. Bogaerts might be the one that we let slide maybe, just because he's an 85 overall. But the other 2, they're old, they're not good, and they're expensive. So those are kind of my thoughts and my reasonings for the Padres. I hope you guys are excited about it. I know I am. Another year of MLB The Show. I love doing the MLB The Show rebuild series. I also love doing the fantasy draft series, so I can't wait to record that episode. First episode's the draft, which is always the best part. So the Padres general manager, or our goals as the general manager of the Padres, in 3 seasons, we have to win the division every year, which could be difficult because the Dodgers exist and the Diamondbacks exist. But our contract goal is to win the league pennant, so we have to win the National League and go to the World Series. That's a tall task. But in 3 seasons, I think we can do that. I guess it just depends on how we do in trades, how we do in the draft, how we do in free agency for year 1 and year 2. It'll be interesting, that is for sure. I guess we'll have to find out. But I'm super excited about the Padres. Can't wait to get started. Hope you guys are excited too. We talked about some of the young guys that I like on this team. This AA team is very exciting because you got 4 top 50 prospects here, or top 100 prospects, I should say. So the AA team is probably going to be where we are most excited, because the AAA team there's nothing here. There's a bunch of D potential guys. There's a bunch of C potential guys. This AAA team is kind of scary how bad it is, because there's nobody that's like younger than 24 on this roster until you get down here to Nolan Watson, but he's not going to ever become anything. So that's kind of scary how this roster is constructed. But the AA team, a lot of promise, especially with Ethan Salas. I'm very excited about this man. We're going to be focusing pretty heavy on him, and hopefully he can develop into quite the good player. I can't wait to get this series underway. Super excited about it. I don't think I do have a sponsorship. I wasn't sure if I did or not. I'll put the in-game ticker. We can have that one be New Era Gold sponsorship or whatever. But I can't wait to get this series underway. I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed this episode and you're happy that MLB The Show content is back on the channel, the Juice Baseball channel is back active, I know I'm excited. I can't wait to get started. Hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed this episode, the introduction to the San Diego Padres in the franchise rebuild, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.